11. Right, we're moving on now to the last part of the course. So Unit 6, where we look at environmental and ethical considerations. It's the quite interesting and enjoyable bit at the end of the course where we look at lots of thought-provoking issues. Okay, so what do you need to know? You need to understand what an ethical consideration is. What does it mean in a business context? You need to know that this could be things to do with how a business treats their workers, suppliers, and their customers. You need to understand what environmental concerns are, like sustainability, waste pollution, and climate change, and how those affect businesses. And you need to be able to explain how these things, ethical and environmental considerations, affect businesses' decisions about what they're going to do. And you need to be able to assess the benefits and drawbacks of being ethical or environmental and whether it is a good thing for a particular business to do or not. Okay, right, let's have a look then. So, ethical considerations. Ethical considerations are about doing what is morally right, even if it is not the cheapest option for the business. So, ethics are about doing the right thing. For example, paying a fair wage. And a clothing brand in the UK that makes that uses a factory maybe in the Far East or in Southeast Asia, that they're not using sweatshops, that they're being proactive, that they are not going to use suppliers that use child labour or unfair working conditions. That another ethical consideration is that businesses advertise honestly. They do not deliberately mislead their customers about a product, its features, about what it can or can't do, and that local ethical businesses support local suppliers, even if they're a little bit more expensive than buying from abroad. The right thing to do is to support local businesses that are around you. So these are examples of ethical business decisions. For example, a popular trainer brand. Oh, hang on. Got another prop. So got these absolutely beautiful New Balance trainers, which I am looking forward to gathering around in the summer. They have decided to stop using child labour in overseas factories, even though it increases their production costs. Now, disclaimer, I don't know if New Balance have ever used factories overseas that use child labour. Let's see where these trainers were made. Made in China. These were made in China. So I don't know what kind of practices that Chinese factories does, but a good ethical decision for New Balance would be to say, to improve our brand reputation, we are going to make sure we only have our products made in factories that do not use child labour, that pay their employees a fair wage, that have good working conditions, because that's what we believe in. It might put the cost of our trainers up by £10, but we think that this is the best thing to do for our business because we think it's the right thing to do. Okay. Right, what's the benefits of ethical behaviour? It attracts loyal customers who care about doing the right thing. Customers who believe in the right thing will be more inclined to buy your products because they don't agree with unethical behaviour. It improves your reputation. You can use it as marketing, you can use it as advertising to say, look at us, we're so good, we don't do these unethical things. And it motivates staff who want to work for the business because they're really proud to work for them because they're a really good employer. The drawbacks is going to be more expensive. Paying fair wages and making sure working conditions are right costs more. So therefore your raw materials are going to cost more and your products are going to cost more to produce. It could be slower to produce your products if you're getting your resources locally, if they are not producing en masse like producers in the Far East or Southeast Asia or parts of India. And it may lead to higher prices, higher variable costs, which is going to lead to possibly an increased selling price, might reduce your sales. Okay. Environmental considerations. This is about minimising the damage to the planet. Right, guys, look at the bottom of the screen. Turn business green. What we want, we need to turn business green. That means you're going to turn your progress to green, from red, amber to green. We're turning business green. We are trying to turn to Mrs. Green, and we are making green business decisions, because we're not going to have any businesses if we don't have this beautiful planet. Right, okay. So environmental considerations are about minimizing the damage that businesses do to the planet. The key issues are sustainability, making sure that we're not exhausting resources, that they don't run out and we've got plenty for the future. We're disposing of our waste properly, reducing and recycling waste properly. We're not polluting the air. We are disposing of waste materials properly, not into the air, into the rivers, into the landfill. And we are thinking about our carbon footprint. We're thinking about climate change. We're thinking about how much greenhouse gases we are emitting, and we're making sure that we're making decisions that are trying to reduce that. These are environmental considerations. For example, a drinks company switches to aluminium cans. Now, I know that you can buy Coke in plastic bottles, but an environmental decision they've made is this thing where, you can't get the cap off the top of the bottle. That's because it makes it easier to recycle and easier to collect, and the plastic tops don't get lost and then not recycled. That was an environmental consideration that Coca-Cola brought in to try and be more environmentally friendly. We see beauty brands doing the same thing. This lovely, lovely rose cleanser. We see beauty brands now, a lot of plastic in the bathroom, isn't there? So we see beauty brands, cosmetic brands trying to more and more introduce refillables so that they are reducing their waste, carbon footprint, plastic, so that more and more beauty brands now you can buy a refill instead of buying the plastic bottle time and time and time again. Okay, right. What's the benefits of being environmentally friendly? We get a great reputation. People think we're great. Everybody feels positive about us, especially young people who are, thankfully, really on the ball with environmental issues and want to make a positive change. So you're going to have a better brand image with those people, and hopefully all of your customers. You can save money in the long run, because if you're reducing waste, you're using less energy, you're lowering your bills, and you can comply with environmental laws and not get fined by the government if you are breaking environmental laws. So it's going to save you money. Hopefully, it's going to save you money and increase your revenue, because you've got this great customer loyalty, because everyone loves you because you're being environmentally friendly. Drawback: it's expensive. It's expensive to change equipment. It's expensive to change your processes to be more environmentally friendly. It's expensive to factor in other options that are more environmentally friendly. Buying electric vehicles costs a lot more in the short term. It might increase your prices, which means they're going to be less competitive. If people don't have a very high income, they are not going to be prioritising environmentally friendly products. They're going to prioritise products that they can afford. So they're going to buy the cheapest ones. So you might lose sales. And it can take a lot of time and planning to make an impact. Right, how does this affect our business decisions? We think a bit more as a business. If we're thinking about environmental and ethical concerns, we use fair trade. We look for good suppliers who are in line with our ethical beliefs, that they're doing the same thing that we believe in. We're using renewable and recyclable materials. We're being really honest in our marketing. We're not telling fibs to our customers about how brilliant our products are. We're being ethical and honest, and giving customers honest, truthful information. And we are promoting green behaviours, turn business green. We are promoting ethical and environmental behaviours that we're trying to raise awareness of. We treat all of our stakeholders fairly, all of our staff, all of our suppliers, the local community, our customers. Being ethical means you are treating all of your stakeholders with respect and meeting their needs as much as you possibly can. For example, a mobile phone company, back to the phone, and there's my dog. Our mobile phone company offers a trade-in scheme for recycling old phones, maybe giving you a bit of cash back towards a new phone if you recycle yours. That's brilliant. They're increasing their costs because they're giving you cash back, or they're reducing their revenue because they're giving you some money off a new phone if you recycle your old phone. And they might not be getting anything out of that. That is a good, ethical, environmental thing to do. Now, on that, Do not mix up ethical and environmental. Environmental is to do with the planet, recycling, reducing waste, sustainability. Ethical is about doing the right thing, being kind, making kind choices, being respectful for all stakeholders. They're two different things. Don't mix them up. Okay, that was that done. Ethical and environmental considerations. What does it mean? Examples. How does it impact a business? Okay, turn business green, guys.